going to show you how to build a magnificent obsession right now. Now, your want starts in your subconscious mind. And your want then gives a signal from your subconscious mind to your conscious mind. This is what I want. I want to turn my annual income into my monthly income. Our job now is to accept this idea. Whatever your want is, your job is to radically accept the idea. How do you accept it? You accept it with your imagination. Now it's in the wanting state. Now, I don't want it to stay in the wanting state. I want to turn it into the knowing state, which is a desire. Now, most people, they'll hold their want for an hour, a day, and give up. Now, that used to be me, so I could speak on it with great experience when I was losing. I would give up. I'd let the results control me. That was a losing effort. But when I changed, I never went back to that losing formula. What I want you to do is now turn your want over back to your subconscious. How do you do it? I'll give you some tools right now. You want to auto-suggest it. What does that mean? That's a suggestion from yourself to yourself, but you do it with emotion. Remember, your subconscious mind is your emotional mind. Anything that does not have emotion, your gatekeeper says to the subconscious, do you want this idea? And it says, no, give it back to the conscious mind. So how do you do it? You say, I am so happy and grateful now that I have turned my annual income into my monthly income, and I absolutely love it. And you do it over and over and over again with repetition. The more you repeat it, it turns into a desire, the knowing state. Once it's a desire, it alters your vibration and it dictates what you attract. And all the conditions, circumstances, and environment changes. Now, what's another way we could get our want and turn it over to our subconscious mind? Through mental rehearsal. You get in a very relaxed state. And if you've never followed my mental rehearsal, it's on my YouTube. And Mike, I think we could give them a link to that, okay? And you practice it minimum 3 times a day. You get very relaxed. And then before you start visualizing your want, what I want you to do is have a clear intent. I clearly intend to turn my annual income into my monthly income. That gives your mind direction, and then you build this picture. The combination of auto-suggestion with mental rehearsal is going to inundate your subconscious conditioning, and you're going to see your results change. But you're going to know when it's a desire, because you're never worried about the how. All of a sudden, your thinking is different. The people you attract in your life is different. The decisions you're willing to make are much different. Now, that is the creation process. We have to turn our want back over to the subconscious mind. It starts in the subconscious, and our job is to accept it and turn it back over. Then we have to practice installing the new belief. And in the beginning, you have to deconstruct the old you. You got to stop making choices from that person. Then in the middle, it gets very messy. You're sometimes coming from the old you, sometimes the new you. And you keep repeating it until your dominant thinking is from the new you. And that's how your results are going to change. Now, everything you want is on its own frequency. Our job is to become one with it. That's why I said, how do we become one with it? We get in the spirit of what we want. All day long, we're thinking of our magnificent obsession. We're taking actions we've never taken. We're taking actions out of our comfort zone. And every day, you're stacking win after win after win of feeding your future self. And that's how you're going to start becoming one with it. But remember, the greatest sabotage of creating what you want is coming from a place of neediness. I need this. I need this. You have to come from radical acceptance. I already have this. You're going to be rewarded greatly when you do. Focusing all your thinking on what is, great sabotager. Letting your present results control you. And focusing on the undesirable situation. What if down? What if this happened? I want you to think of what if up. I want you to think, I've already experienced this. Think about the dinner you're going to have with the closest people in your life, celebrating this massive breakthrough that you're going to achieve over the next 90 days and beyond. Now, our questions shape our identity, Our identity creates our results, but our questions shape our behaviors. So we've got to ask really empowering questions. The first one is always the first rule of success. You have to know what you want. What do you really want more than anything else? The second question is, what experiences would I like to have? The reason I love this question is you start falling in love with the possibilities. You're turning the impossible into certainty. And then you say, what changes would I like to make? Because in order to achieve something far greater, we have to change. But we have to have a game plan for change. Like, this is what I think I'm brilliant at when I work with clients. I get to identify what they want and the changes they have to make, and I give them a game plan of exactly how to implement those changes. Most people set a goal without putting a game plan of what they have to change. And they're going to create failure after failure by doing that in disappointment. And then you have to ask yourself, why are your goals so important to you? The person's why always wins. If your why not is stronger than your goal, your why not is going to win. That's what you have experienced with starting and stopping. I mean, that's what I experienced. And that's why starting and stopping happens. Why are your goals important to you? I want you to have such a big why. Remember, the why always wins. And then this is the most important question. What kind of person do I need to become to achieve all that I want? Excellence is your birthright. Greatness is inside of you. I can't give you greatness. You already emanate it. We've just got to open our heart to connect to it. Most people are failing because they have a closed heart, not because they're not capable. They're not even going after what they really want. They're just going after based on what the masses are doing. Now, when people attempt to transform their income, the biggest mistake is they prioritize income first. What did I tell you? I said, now you know what your want is. Your give has to be much greater than the want. So now we focus on how can I increase my value, which will be the result of increased income. Income, all it is an effect of the good we're putting out. So how can you increase your value? You could increase it through leveraging my mindset. You could increase it through identifying the right processes. You can increase it by looking at the skill sets and the beliefs that you want to install over the next 90 days. Do you realize just one skill set and one belief will create a massive transformation? Stop focusing on income and focus on value. Now, the beautiful part is when you 10x your value obsession, this is absolutely essential to create increased income. Value is always the worth you create for others. This is provided by your ideas, products, beliefs, skill sets, and services you provide. See, when you make yourself so congruent with your goal, now you put all your energy on where can I get better? How can I serve more people? How can I get better at my craft? And that's what's going to create your income by default. Do you ever wonder why people who thrive during the most uncertain times, it's because they focus on value. When you focus on value, you bring absolute certainty to your income. With certainty in your income creation process, you will be immune to whatever's going on in the outside world. I want you to know what you want. Now, you think, feel, and act from that want. You do your daily disciplines. You create the right processes. And then now you focus on where can I add value? How can I get better at my craft? Now, in order to do this and turn your want into reality, and to be willing to create the value that's going to create a massive life of freedom, you have to understand your paradigms are controlling your life right now. Your mindset is how you see the world. And there's two things you have to know to create great wealth. You have to know where you are and where you're going. Now, I will tell you this is why mentorship is so important, this one slide. I want you to think about this. You know what you want. You know where you are. That's easy. All you have to do is open your eyes. And you know where you're going. But it's so simple and so obvious. Why are so many people stuck? It's right here because instead of seeing their magnificent obsession instead of interrogating their action step, am I taking actions from my future self? All they do is stay where they are. That's all they see. Why? Because the paradigm keeps them stuck. Your paradigm wants to keep you comfortable. But there is no such thing as freedom and comfort. You have to be courageous and bust through your comfort zone. Now, why I said mentorship is so important, this just one slide, because the mentor always is creating processes from your goal. The goal always determines the process. The mentor's always seeing you where you want to be and holding the image of it until you're there, and they're guiding you. That's what I do. I guide you on exactly what to do from the goal, not where you are. See, this is what is essential to create a massive shift. But how do you change a paradigm? Repetition. Repetition is the mother of all learning. We have to fall in love with repetition, but repetition, your old you fights you so strong against it. Why would I listen to this again? Why would I read the same chapter in a book over and over again? Why would I keep doing the same actions? See, it's the repetition over and over and over again that creates mastery. Your program is not hard to change, but it takes deliberate practice, it takes awareness, and it takes falling in love with your want. Your paradigms literally put a blinder on how you see the world. I want you to look at every single person on this call. Every one of you is seeing the world much different. Every one of you is listening to me much different. Now, the paradigm has to change if you're going to change the result. This is a black and white deal. And we have to understand this. It's not a matter of how hard you work or how many hours you put in. If the program does not change, ultimately the results will remain the same from one year to the next. See, it's not about working 15 hours. It's about working smarter, not harder. It's about changing your awareness. And when you change your program, you're going to see your outside world reshape itself. But when programs stay in control and you don't build the discipline to accept and reject, you don't build the right processes, nothing changes. Nothing will change until you do that. Now, let me show you this, because this is the number one reason people don't change their results. Now, this is you. You have a positive side of your personality and a negative side of your personality. You have a power that flows in and through you within a second. And you have a choice on which one are you taking, a positive or negative side. Now, let's say for the last 6 months, you've had a financial goal and you haven't achieved it. You said, I really want to increase my income from $100,000 a year to $500,000. And you say, Arash, I've been watching you. I have not made the change yet. And it's not because I don't have a goal. This is the reason. Are you sending out a double binding message? Are you changing your processes? If your processes are the same that's creating the same results, then you have got to change them. If I keep doing what I did yesterday, today, I'm not going to get better. And my job is to be in harmony with my goal. And now, how do I do that? Number one, if you're sending out a double binding message, you're accepting the outside, a negative result, and you're in harmony with a poverty consciousness. Now, what is the negative side of our personality? Ignorance. What does ignorance create? It creates worry, doubt, and fear. So what happens, if you're sending out a double binding message, you're not thinking, feeling, and acting from your goal. You are emanating worry, doubt, and fear in your subconscious level, which then puts a disempowering idea in your body. And guess what you're going to get? You're literally infecting yourself with what you don't want. Even for the people who think, I've been studying this. It's not about what you study, it's about what you implement. The implementation, our job, is to think, feel, and act from our goal. This is what has to happen for you to create a massive breakthrough. But the person who's creating a double binding messages and catches it, they said, I can tell I have no juice. My energy is really low. I'm in a double binding message. They can change it. They say, you know what? I am choosing back in every day is day one. I'm a beginner and I'm going to operate with the right processes. Like Arash just told me 2 massive processes that'll change my belief with auto-suggestion and mental rehearsal. You make a decision, you say, now I am going to emanate, I'm going to think, feel, and act. My magnificent obsession is coming from that $500,000 goal. And everything I do, I'm thinking from that person. Now, through the repetition of doing it over and over and over again, now you're altering your vibration. Instead of infecting yourself with what you don't want, you are empowering yourself with what you do want. You're so free. You let go so completely, and that's how you're going to attract the results. Now, I will tell you, to be aware of a double binding message, all you have to do is follow your energy. All you have to do is understand if you're in your comfort zone, you're in a double binding message. What did I say earlier? We're dealing with the infinite. We can always get better. But in order to achieve a quantum leap, you have to think, feel, and act from a much greater level of deliberateness, a much higher intent. But when you do what I'm suggesting, you're going to automatically build an enormous picture of yourself. And we will never outperform our identity. That's our picture of ourselves. That's the most important picture that we have. Now, I want you to build a new model of your future self. Now, I teach future self all the time, and a lot of people don't do the deep work to really allow themselves to make the connection with their future self. Now, why do I say your future self? Because your future is shaping your identity this present moment. So if you're coming from your past self or your present self, you are just doing the same thing over and over again. Now, commitment comes from your future self. And your future self, what you're doing right now, is what you're going to create in the future. But the present is meaningless unless you're connected to the future. And we have to understand it is the future that dictates what decisions you make in the present. So right now, if you're always saying, I'm going to do this one day, that's what you're going to get. You're going to keep getting the same thing. Or if you say, listen, I am all in. I am going to create a massive jump. And I hope that's every single one of you when you're listening to me. But when you do that, now all of a sudden, every decision you make is going to automatically start coming from your future self. But how do you make that connection? You journal every morning for 15 minutes and you write a letter to your future self for 30 days. Because why do you write a letter? It's creating a deeper connection. Imagine if whoever you're closest with, from day one when you met them, you didn't have as close of a connection as day 30, then 6 months, then a year. We have to make that deep connection with our future self. Our future self, when you make it, write it out. I'm so happy and grateful now that we are creating massive success together. My life changed when I stopped letting the outside control me and I connected to you. You know, I want you to see yourself high-fiving, hugging your future self. When you're writing that letter, I want you to talk about the characteristics that you built from your future self. And you do it every day for 15 minutes. Your connection is going to be so much deeper from day 1 to day 7 to day 28, and then to day 30. And you're going to start seeing every decision you make, every action you take is automatically going to come from your future self. Now, most people, they don't understand that their future self is totally a different person than they are today. They think they're the same. They think what I'm doing right now, it's just my cards. This is what I'm going to always have. It's totally untrue. Your future self, when you start tapping into it and coming from it, your whole world is about to change. Your future self is a lot more courageous. It's a lot wiser. It's a lot stronger identity. You want to start really taking what I'm telling you seriously. Now, your future drives your present action. Your future drives your present thoughts. Now, I only have an hour and 15, hour and a half with you. When I work with my clients, we go through future self-work literally weeks. That's how important it is until they can master it. Now, in order for you to become what you want, you must overcome the old you. Every time you're tapping into the old you, you're going to create the same results. And the side effect is a lot of discomfort. If you're feeling fear, that's a great sign. I want you to know, do the thing you fear, everything will change. Everything will completely change. You know, I was telling a group today I was coaching, I saw something on my feed from the Bible. It says, in the Bible, there's 365 different times the word fear comes up. And in every one of those passages, it says, you have nothing to fear. Don't fear anything. Act on your fear. And, you know, the Bible will teach this philosophy so well. But we've got to embrace fear and do the thing we fear. But when we do this and we're coming from our future self, guess what? Your confidence increases. Now, I want to talk about confidence because I want everybody to look at their results. Your results right now is a reflection of your confidence. I want you to imagine in the next 90 days, you 10x your confidence. Your results will 10x by default. See, we've got to start understanding confidence. Confidence doesn't mean you're not scared. I hope you are scared. Being scared is a really good thing. You know, whenever I hear somebody say they're scared, I'm like, oh, you're in for a big jump right now. You're in the process of a quantum leap. When I hear the people who say, no, I'm not scared, I know they're not going after what they're capable of. But if all you did was increase your confidence, your results will change literally overnight. But what is confidence? Confidence is about definiteness, even with your lack of when you lack certainty. It's, I don't know how it's going to happen. I am willing to fail, but I'm going to keep pivoting forward. But confidence is about letting go. Confidence is not about overthinking. Overthinking, now we're letting our manual mind, and we use 2 to 4% of our power instead of using the genius inside of us, which is our subconscious mind, that creates 96 to 98%. So right now, if you're not letting go, understand you're using a very limited amount of your potential. What else is confidence? Confidence is about those defining choices you make from your future self. Nothing is going to define us more than the choices we make. Confidence is about deliberate practice, practicing our new skill set, going to a mentor and saying, listen, I am all in. I've never done it before, but I want you to show me exactly what to do. And that's why the people who work with me in our company, they create confidence literally every 30 days. There's a dramatic shift in confidence. But what creates the greatest level of confidence is behaving out of your comfort zone. You literally behave your way into a new identity. It is much easier behaving your way into a new identity than it is thinking your way into a new identity. Confidence is going to the unknown. I've never done it before. I have never experienced this before, but I'm going all in. That's what faith is. Faith is going to determine your confidence. Faith is seeing what you want, believing in the impossible. What's the impossible? Your subconscious mind. And going and doing things you've never done before. And you're going to experience what the masses call impossible, that you're going to call quantum leap after quantum leap after quantum leap. But when you have confidence, you've accepted the idea radically before you even started. You've won well before you've started. And that's what's going to create a massive breakthrough for you. Now, I want to finish this with goals because we can't do this without goals. But I don't want you to just have any goals. I want you to have world-class goals. When you're going after a goal that's 1x or 2x, there's no inspiration, there's no juice. You just go back to your past self and your present self and you say, I'm just going to work a lot harder. And you keep procrastinating. The riches you receive will be an exact proportion of the definiteness of your vision. I know what I want. The fixity of your purpose. You turn the want into a goal. The steadiness of your faith. I see only what I want, and I already am experiencing it in my mind. And the depth of your gratitude. Gratitude is the vibration of abundance. Now, with goals, we're all in. We put all our chips in. We are all in every day. Now, you may have a day, you miss a day, you say, I'm never missing 2 days. But you see yourself, you're in the spirit of what you want. You are not spending any time on a poverty consciousness. Now, it is impossible to exceed the standards you have for yourself. To achieve a goal is all about standards. Whatever you say yes to is what your minimum standard is. Your standard sets your baseline to what you attract. Your standard sets the direction of what you're seeing in the world. And the standard you hold of yourself is your most important core value. But remember, with goals, no one does anything without a why. Now, you guys are all here for a reason, or else you wouldn't even be joining us. You have a why. I know you want transformation, and I know you're going to create transformation. I can't wait to hear your success stories. But now, we've got to turn your goal into a love story. When you're in love with anything, it's always on your mind. That's the magnificent obsession I was talking about. I want your goal to be a love story. That's why we do the repetition of affirming to ourselves and mentally rehearsing what we want. When you turn your goal into a love story, you're going to, instead of asking the most disempowering question, how am I going to do it? You ask, what do I want? What do I have to become? Who can I leverage? Who can I learn from? Who do I have to be? Now, the what and the who are the most empowering questions regarding the goal achievement process. But I want you to make your goal so big, you believe it's impossible. It is easier to achieve quantum leap goals than incremental goals. Why? Because quantum leap goals give us juice. But the minute you start falling in love with your quantum leap, now your mind starts seeing it. You're starting to make the impossible possible. And all you have to do is start playing with the ideas and start doing the math. Like, I will teach you how to make the impossible into the ridiculous where you're certain of it. But 2xing your goal is just about hard work. Is that what you want? Do you want something that gives you no juice, that does not transform you? See, 2xing your goal provides too many paths from your current results. All your thinking is based on your past thinking. Now, 10xing your goals, there's only a limited number of strategies that'll work. That's why you want to be around big thinkers. You want to get mentored by the right people who've already shown the results because they've performed it. See, surround yourself with the right mastermind. Get proximity with the right people that are going the direction you want to go. Now, when you make a goal impossible, you stop working from your present knowledge and assumptions. What does that mean? You stop working based on the past you and based on the present you. You're going to be open to new ideas and paths to getting to your big goal. See, you've been at a time in your life where you're like, oh, this is the idea. You just have this aha. That's because you went to your future self. Now, I want to teach you how to always come from your future self. But the goal achievement process comes down to 3 main rules. Number 1, I have to fuse with it. I become one with it. I'm thinking, feeling, and acting from it. I pick one identity-based behavior, one belief that is I'm going to work on for 90 days. And then the next 90 days, I'm going to pick another belief and skill set. And all you have to do is 4 identity-based behaviors a year, massive quantum leaps, and then you're process-driven. You're implementing the right processes, and you're taking 3 to 6 goal-achieving activities. These are not busy work. These are really moving the needle. These are the most important ideas every day. And that's going to achieve your goals effortlessly. But none of this happens without action. I want you to understand action is your best friend. And I want you to have inspired action with swagger. That's that confidence. I know that I know that I know. I'm willing to fail in order to succeed. I'll give you a rule that I have discovered and implemented over the last 17 years. You have to be willing to fail at your future self, then succeed at your current self. When you do this, you change the game for yourself. And action is the fundamental key to all success. It's not just about information, it's about transformation. And it's about using the knowledge and unleashing the talent. You're never going to learn more than the doing. Emerson says, do the thing will give you power. He doesn't say, read the thing will give you power. When you get into the doing, you're going to learn so much about what you're going to course correct, where you're going to get better. And that's where your results change. But this is key. If we don't develop the ability to take action, nothing changes. We have to understand the time to act is when the idea is burning inside of you and the emotion is strong. Like today's a great day for you to act. What is that one idea you can act on today? I want you to act on that right away. Like if you're sitting there and you want to massively quantum leap, I want you to call us and we will help you. But that's an idea. Do it now as a brain tattoo. I was sharing this story earlier this week. 17 years ago was when I got mentored. And when I got mentored, I was losing badly, as I've said earlier. There was one thing that I changed that changed my life immediately, literally within weeks. I started doing everything right away when I used to procrastinate. Well, my mentor said you have to do it now as a brain tattoo. He said, I learned that from W. Clement Stone. So from that moment on, I committed. I said, I'm just going to surrender to his mentorship, and anything he tells me to do, I'm going to do. So he told me to do everything now, and that's what I did. And I'll tell you, if you do it now, within a second, you're going to change your life. It will change your life.